Knowledge Enlightenment Podcast. We actually thank you for actually coming to our platform. So the platform is a platform is where we talk about self-mastery, we talk about purpose, discipline, entrepreneurship, and also becoming the best version of yourself. Why do we say that? Because today I want us to talk about something that people misunderstood. They misunderstand this most of the times, which is actually laziness. I wouldn't really say that people are lazy or people are becoming lazy. I would only say that people are disconnected from the life they truly wanted to live. As you can actually see what's really happening in our society, we are always driven to distractions, not because of we choose those distractions, but because it was designed that way in the form of people being distracted. So the reason why we are creating this episodes and this platform is for us to make sure that you guys remember who you were before you became disconnected, right? I remember Marcus Aurelius saying that laziness is when you fail to self-master yourself. If you fail to self-master yourself, the society and everything or outside forces cannot control you. But if you fail to self-master yourself, then outside forces will control you. A quote that I want to read for you. It says, "Many people wake up every morning feeling tired, not because they are weak, but because their spirit is disconnected from what they are doing." If we can actually look at the society today, people are doing things that they truly don't want to do. They do things because they have to do these things. And then if you find that these people, at the end of the day, they become more miserable. Why? Because they were doing something that they were forced to do. I mean, like, if you don't actually get a job, like, what are you going to eat? What are you going to weigh? What do you understand? Where are you going to stay? So it was actually designed in a form where it actually forces people to do things, not physically, but psychologically. In a mental way, it does. But how does that resonate with your spirit? How does that resonate with your spirit? Because that's very, very effective. And the reason why we do this here on Knowledge Enlightenment Podcast, and also as a former journalist, I prefer to talk about these topics, self-mastery, discipline, purpose. Do you understand? When we're talking about purpose, we're also talking about spirituality, right? We also talk about the life that you want. People who are crafting, entrepreneurs, businessmen, businesswomen. You see, so that's why we want to bring that thing that made you want to live in the first place back to you, because it's like it's been snatched away from you. So when I read this code, it touches me from the deepest part of my soul, because I understand how that really feels. It's not nice for you to wake up every day and fulfill another person's goal or dream that aligns with their own spirituality, and denying your own spirituality. Do you see what I'm trying to talk about? So these are very, very important, and we need to align and understand this into perfection. So another quote, it says, imagine spending years on something that doesn't really resonate with you, your soul. It's actually disconnected with your soul. I mean, like, for instance, you wanted to be a businessman, or you wanted to be a lawyer, you wanted to be a distributor, or you wanted to have webinars, or I don't know, you wanted to be a professional, a professor or a lecturer or a judge, whatever thing that you wanted to do. But you're not that. They tell you, no, don't do this, do this one. Just go to that school there, just clean those toilets for those children. Clean those toilets for those children for 3 years. We will give you a very good salary. Do you understand? But whatever you're doing, it's a form of gratification. It's not what resonates with your spirituality. So the reason why we're saying this, we want you to understand that your spirituality is very, very important. You need to understand your spirituality. Your spirituality has to align with what you do. Do you understand? So And then what happens when you keep on continuing and doing that and doing that over and over? Eventually, you become exhausted. And when you become exhausted, you start to forget about whatever thing that you really wanted to do in the first place. But because of you are exhausted, you feel numb, you feel low, you lose interest on so many things. People or the society, this part of society, they love to react to this kind of things. They will say, no, this person is lazy. You know how they like to say this nasty comments? They say, no, this person is lazy, but they fail to understand the very deep psychology of why this person is actually acting the way they do, because they don't understand their psychology. Do you understand? Or they don't know the root behind it. It's because of the society is designed in a way that it makes abnormal things to be normal. I'm not talking about you focusing on your goal. You focusing on your goal should be normal. But in the society, it's abnormal. What is normal is you working for someone, doing, just accepting everything that comes to you. No, man, don't deny your spirituality. Don't deny your spirituality. I remember Cole Young said. He was one of the most powerful psychologists. He said that a person that stops feeling ashamed of how they feel. I mean, talking about emotions, your emotions, how people perceive you, how people want to picture you as a person. Once you start to become one with your identity, become one with your spirit, that's when the world will fail to govern you, right? So that's why I'm saying that he was one of the most successful psychologists, right? So now he's one of the most philosophy authors or people out there that we know. He changed people's lives, even when we're talking about science, right? He mixed science with religion, with spirituality. Guys, these things are very, very important. Do we even talk about these things? No, we don't. But I will talk about these things because you deserve it. Okay? I hope that this code will actually do something for you. Either way, make sure that you also tap the likes, subscribe, follow, right? And please also share your comments, because as we're talking about this laziness thing, but think about this. I want you to think about this very, very clearly. I'm going to read out 4 codes for you, and then tell me, you can spend time and calibrate on those codes and tell me if this truly makes sense. When people truly love something, they naturally become obsessed with it. A person who loves music will spend hours creating. A person who loves business will study business constantly. A person who loves content creation will keep creating even when people are not watching. So getting back to this thing of laziness and talking about alignment with your spirituality, I mean, like, if you cannot fix your spirituality, how are you going to be able to fix your reality? So that's why I'm saying that people are constantly doing things that truly doesn't align with what they're doing. And then that's why they always get exhausted. You find that you get exhausted most of the times because you're doing something that doesn't really bring excitement. I understand that you need to have a job, you need to pay for this and that, but like, who are you living for? Are you living for yourself, or are you living for the person who created that goal, a person that created that career, a person that accomplished their goal? Who are you living your life for? This is the reason why we create this kind of videos, because we want you to calibrate even much more deeper. When you go deeper and calibrate and keep on calibrating, you start realizing certain things, and you start to look at your life in a sense of spirituality, physicality, psychology. You start to see life in a new, different perspective. So that's why I'm saying that these things are very, very, very important. And a lot of people don't take all these things into consideration. So guys, the reason why we are talking about spirituality, it's very, very, very important. Don't see a person and say this person is lazy just because this person is not aligning with what you are aligning with, right? Your spirit is aligning with something, and then because of your spirit is aligning with something, don't look at another person and say, no, this person is lazy. That's what the society is reduced to. They want to see people doing the very same thing. They want to see you going to work. They want to see you focusing on clothing. They want you to do the obvious trends that are happening here. No, the reason why we build this platform is because we want to speak for people who are finding it difficult to find a place where they can talk about this personal things, like to talk about this kind of topics, because people are mostly distracted talking about things that doesn't really relate to who they are. The reason why we talk about this is that we don't want you to lose your identity. Just because there's a lot of gratifications outside, there's a lot of things that are actually taking place outside there. We don't want you to lose your identity. Your identity takes time to build. It's like planting a seed. You need to nurture the seed and keep on nurturing it. Even when people are telling you, no, this seed will never grow. Do you understand? So that's why we're saying that on those quotes, you can see that a person that has something that keeps them living. To have something, it could be your child, because your child aligns with your spirituality. As a mother, your child aligns with your spirituality, so that's why you have the will to live, right? Because of the child. Once the child grows and leaves, you start to realize that your will to live, it's fading away. Because of you have nothing else that aligns with your spirituality other than your daughter or your son. Do you see what I'm talking about? So people don't really understand these things. Why is that a person that loves music, they spend almost the whole 24 hours in a day doing music? A person that's actually running a business, a person that also creates content, they do that constantly. Even when the weather is not okay, even when the mood is not fine, but they keep on doing it every day. Even Andrew Tate was also saying that you need to live what you want to become. Stop worrying about the constant excuses or the constant, no, I'm not feeling fine. When are you going to feel fine? Because problems are always coming every day. Why don't you just live your life through all those problems? Live it. At least you have lived your days doing something that really makes you feel alive, something that feeds your spirit rather than feeding more of the outside forces. Do you understand? So guys, I don't know if we are actually covering the topics that truly aligns with your experiences, but we also love your comments. Make sure that you also send your comments, as many comments as you can, and also make sure that you also check our description, because we're also going to have certain tools and certain resources that you guys can also try and venture into, right? Because in order for you to reach somewhere, you need to learn throughout the way. I remember Seneca when he said, and also Plato, he said, a wise man is a man that knows nothing. A wise man is a man that knows nothing. Even when they know everything, they act like they know nothing. Why? Because they learn everything that they experience, they take it as a journey of learning. They don't go to something and they say, no, I know this thing. Even when the thing looks familiar, they still don't know it. They want to even learn more about what they've already mastered. Billionaires are still billionaires, but they are not yet, they still want to master the billionaire situation. They want to master it because they are not yet masters. They arrived, but they have not yet mastered it yet. So guys, try and do things that aligns with your spirit. You will see how fast, how successful you become. If you love drawing, if that aligns with your spirit, do it. Don't worry about money, don't worry about people saying, don't worry about that. It feeds your spirit. It's actually feeding your spirituality. The more you do that, the more you start to understand yourself, the more you start to become one with the universe. You become one with thyself. And by doing that, you start attracting things that you wouldn't, it was going to even take you much more longer to attract when you were doing something that drains your spirituality. I hope that that's why some people can work 12 hours building their dreams, but struggle focusing for 30 minutes doing something that they hate. Why is that? It's because of every time when you're working, you must look at something. Most of you have experience in the work environment, in the work industry. Every time when you arrive at work, you're always in a hurry to knock off. You are always in a hurry to knock off. What you do is you come and work just for you to get paid. But that is draining your spirituality. It's draining you day and night. But when you get back home, because now you're in a comfort zone, you're getting back at home, because now you're in a comfort zone, because now you're in a place where you're facing your demons. Because when you're working, work distracts you from really reflecting or looking to yourself or searching yourself deeply. As Nicola Machiavelli said, that a man that fails to look at himself in isolation. A man that fails to look at himself in isolation is a man that cannot survive in outside forces. So if you are able to master yourself in isolation, then you can master yourself outside forces. So my friend, this quote also touched me in a way that it moved me to a place where you have to stop focusing on other people's opinions and start focusing on what aligns with your nature as an individual. So this thing is actually telling you straight that you are avoiding your true self, you are avoiding your true nature. You go into work to distract yourself. This job that you're working in, it was created for a purpose, but you were not part of this purpose in the first place. Your dreams and your goals was not to work there. So people don't understand these things, and when I talk about these things, I think it can be able to enlighten some of you. You can be enlightened. It can try to show you that being enlightened is not comfortable. It's not a comfort journey. It's very, very, very challenging because it removes you from that perspective. It removes you from that perspective. It brings you to your true nature, to your true roots. So another thing that I also want to read code, it says, the problem is not always discipline. Sometimes the problem is disconnection. Sometimes the problem is disconnection. So that's why I'm saying that some people are truly disconnected to their true identity. They are disconnected to your true identity. Now what happens? It becomes a problem because you live your whole entire life running away from who you are and what you really were supposed to do, right? That's why people who are successful, they do things that aligns with their spirituality. I'm not saying do things that you enjoy doing, no. Things that aligns with your spirituality, not because of you enjoy doing these things, no. It aligns with your nature as a person. What is it that you do, like especially when you're in a very isolated place? Put yourself in a very isolated area and see what you do. The things that you do when people don't see you, that's your true nature. That's where you need to invest more of you. What you enjoy doing when nobody sees you, not when people see you. When nobody sees you, those are the things that you need to most of the times focus on 24/7, right? And another one, it says, and many people are slowly abandoning their dreams. Why? Because they want to survive. Are you going to abandon your true nature, your true spirituality, your purpose for a what? A job? Come on, guys. I'm not saying this to offend anyone because I went through all those experiences. Eventually we're gonna go through all those experiences, but don't allow your job to affect your true identity. Don't allow that to do that. Listen very carefully. There's this quote that I want you guys to understand, which talks about survival. Survival is important, right? We all need money. We all need responsibilities. We all need stability. But we never allow survival to completely kill your purpose. So what this really means is, we are not saying that working is actually a bad thing, because this world that we are living in is designed for you to work. Probably you won't see that physically, but mentally it makes sense that everything is created to force you to be in that situation. But as much as all of us are forced to be in situations, we don't allow those situations to define us. I mean, before any sort of situation or any sort of direction, you had your own direction. You had your own vibration, your own frequency. Other frequencies came and they forced you to move in that kind of frequency. You must understand that these things are not truly easy, but it's very important for you to not allow those things to kill your purpose, to kill your nature. So a lot of people, they find this very difficult. They allow these things that we experience every day to kill your nature. Don't allow that to kill your nature. Because you will eventually drain yourself and you will live all your years doing something that was actually for someone else. I mean, like, your spirit was not aligning to that. I know that you may have kids, or you may have a family, you are raising this and this, but you must understand that you allowed yourself to be in that situation. You allowed yourself to be in that situation of working, really, and understanding that as you're working, what is your goal? What are you aligning with? You started becoming more distracted, and you were distracted creating things that were just gratifications. Those gratifications turned into something that becomes your life. It becomes second nature. Now, for you to move away from that distracted life, or that life that was designed for you that you didn't really want to, it leads to that perspective. Can you see what I'm talking about? So don't allow anything that you're doing or the small gratifications affect your true nature, your spirituality, or survival to affect who you truly are. Why am I saying that? Why? Because one of the most dangerous things in life is becoming successful at something you never truly wanted. Do you understand? Most people are successful in things that doesn't align with their spirituality or their nature as individuals, just because they want to survive. I'm not saying that doing something that doesn't align with it means that you are working, yes, which you were forced in before. You couldn't see that, but I'm just saying that what we are trying to do is to remind you of who you are. Because people are becoming what they are not, just because they want to survive. Guys, wake up. Wake up, guys. It's not easy, wake up. Don't allow a job. It doesn't mean a job will stop you from doing what aligns with who you are. You can work, yes, to put food on the table, to buy yourself whatever thing that you want to buy yourself, support your family, but why don't you use your job to invest in what aligns with your spirituality? Like, don't kill your identity because of your working. Don't do that, guys. We hope that you will also you'll actually help us to subscribe on the channel. Say something on the comments. We really love that you also share something on the comments. Make sure that you also like. Guys, the reason why I left this wonderful and very powerful quotes for you at the end is because they really touched my spirituality. They tapped in an area where it feels very, very unexplainable. So listen to this quote. Many people look successful outside, but internally they feel very empty. I'm repeating it. Many people look successful outside, but internally they feel empty. Because money without purpose eventually feels meaningless. And that is why self-awareness is important. You understand? It's very powerful for you to understand these things. Why would you deny your spirituality for gratification? Why would you torture yourself just because of you wanna people see you as something, or you wanna be worthy, or you wanna, I don't know how you really want to be perceived as a person. It's painful to have this amount of money and feel very empty inside, like you are very, very, very empty. It's very painful for you as an individual to experience those things. It's very painful. So guys, please don't do that to yourself. Don't. We may have all these distractions and all these challenges in life. It's not easy, yes, but don't deny yourself. Don't deny yourself your true nature. Don't allow all the small things take away your true nature. Because that's all what you, that's the only thing that you have. That's your true nature, who you are. That person a person that's always in solitude, that person that people cannot see. That's what you have, my friend. You have nothing else. That's what you have. And another one, it says, you must ask yourself, what truly makes me feel alive? And in this ones, I always say that these quotes are powerful. Can you feel how powerful this thing is? You must ask yourself, what truly makes you feel alive? Guys, do you ask yourself what makes you truly feel alive? Is it your job? What makes you feel alive when you wake up in the morning? You can't tell me it's your job. You're just fooling yourself. You can't tell me something like that. It has to be something that it makes you feel anxious, happy, scared, and it puts all those emotions in one place. It gives you the thrill. You feel alive. It makes you want to do something. Yes. I mean, like, why would you deny yourself that feeling? Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Guys, I understand that we're facing a lot of things, so please guys, just make sure that you listen to this episode from the beginning until the end. Listen to the message. Don't worry about any other thing. Listen to what we are providing. Listen to the message. Listen to it. And try to introspect and see, what are you learning? What does it remind you of? Search yourself and see. Because I can assure you that on our platform, you will become enlightened, no matter you like it or not. So I'm going to give you something before we actually end this episode. Okay? We are nearly on the end of this episode. You need to understand that this is very, very, very important. So we are actually nearly ending. We are actually near to the end of the episode. So if you're still watching, there's this wonderful code before we end this episode. I want you to put it inside your heart, your soul. Now, this does not mean that you should quit everything that you're doing tomorrow. No. We are not saying that you should quit everything that you're doing tomorrow. No. What we really mean is, it means you slowly begin building that life that actually aligns with your universe. It aligns with your spirituality. It aligns with you, right? Everything that you do, the kind of life that you're living, it should align with who you are. So this is what we are saying, that if you are working, use whatever you get from the job that you're doing to invest in the life that aligns with who you are. Once you do that, you start realizing that all these difficult things, they become easy for you because of you are doing something that aligns with your spirituality, which gives you energy. Unending energy. It's unending energy. It's where you find peace. You are at peace. No matter how difficult the work is, you are at peace. That's what I'm trying to say. So what you can do is learn skills. Try to learn skills, whatever skills that you can learn that aligns with your spirituality. Build discipline. Build discipline in a form where nothing can actually break the wall that you're building, right? Create opportunities. I mean, don't wait for opportunities all the time. Create them. By creating what you enjoy, creating what you really want to achieve, live it. Start living the life that you want to become, right? And start small. Don't always pressurize yourself every time and put yourself in that situation. But there's something that I want you to understand. But never completely abandon the person you were. Just because, don't abandon the person you were, the person that you are actually going to be. Whatever you do in life, whatever you put your energy into, don't allow the things that you do to destroy what you only have, which is your spiritual self, your natural self. Don't allow those things to destroy you. It's not easy, but don't allow it to do that. So guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much for actually watching the episode. It really means a lot for you guys to have watched this episode until this far. Remember, your energy follows meaning. If you're doing something that doesn't have meaning, something that doesn't have any form of direction, it's going to be very hard for you to take that direction into perspective. And when your life aligns with your purpose, then you start realizing that all these things that were difficult, all these things that were challenging, all these things that were making you to feel much more tired, you start realizing that all these things, they are no more difficult because they are aligned with your spirit, which they are no more draining you as a person. They are filling you. They fill you with life. They fill you with life. So thank you very much for actually watching Knowledge Enlightenment Podcast. And we also hope to see you on our next episode. Stay tuned. Knowledge Enlightenment.